everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is December and we're just getting our first snow of the season. You just can't help feel merry and festive and cozy this time of the year. And it's almost Christmas. For the past few years, we have hosted Christmas Eve at our place and we get all our friends and all the kids, and it's just a fun time. And we are planning to host again this we're planning to host again this year, so which means I need a Christmas Eve outfit. And I've been seeing this dress on my Instagram and Pinterest all over the summer, and it's such a pretty dress. I almost bought it a few times until I saw this pattern. It's a free pattern and it's exactly the same dress. And I thought, I can make it myself. So I've been holding on to this pattern for the last few months. And recently I've been seeing this version of the same dress in this rich velvety fabric. And I figured, I should try and make this one. It looks so luxurious and dramatic and, festive at the same time. So I thought I would give it a try. I did try to work with a stretch velvet fabric before, but it was a disaster. But I feel like now I've gained a little more sewing experience and I kind of know what to expect. So I feel like it's time to give it a try again. So that's what I'm going to do. If everything works out, I will have a pretty dress for Christmas Eve. If not, we'll just have to figure something else out. But we won't know until we try. So it's time to go for fabric shopping. Let's go. They didn't have enough of that fabric. I needed at least 2.5 to 3 yards, but I think they had about 1.5 yards. They said they may have already ordered some more. In that case, it would arrive on Monday. Or if not, they were gonna order more on Wednesday. So I don't know. I think let's go to Michael's and see if they have anything. If not, maybe I'll just wait until Monday and come back down here. No luck at Michael's. All they had was a bunch of glittery velour fabric, and I just don't understand glitter. I don't like them. They take over your life. It's just unnecessary. And this time of year, all you can see anywhere is glitter. I could go back to Hobby Lobby on Monday and see if they have the fabric, but the lady, she wasn't even sure if it was ordered, so maybe I'm better off trying to find something online. I don't know. I do know that I am hungry and this weather is making me want to get something soupy and hot, like noodles or something. So let's go get something to eat. Just got back home and obviously I didn't get what I went out for, but I did get a few things. Let me show you. At the thrift store, I got these fabrics. This first one is a cotton fabric and there isn't a whole lot. There's less than maybe a yard, but I really like this shade of pink. There was a lot of floral prints going on at the thrift store today, so kind of in keeping with the theme there, but I thought this was really cute. And this one was only 99 cents. And then I also got this fabric. It was $2, $1.98. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it feels a little stretchy and soft. I am thinking of maybe like a button-down shirt dress. I do love this coffee brown color, so that's what I was thinking. And then this one looks like, you know, the inside of a lunch bag. At least that's why I bought it. I made a lunch bag for myself and I just used like a regular cotton fabric for the lining, but this looked really interesting, so I thought maybe I can use this if I make a second one. And then the place where I had lunch was right next to Ross, so I stopped by and I really needed some oven mitts, so that's what I got. And then there was this really cute gingerbread house set, and I thought, you know, it will be fun to have a hot chocolate date with my little boy, so we're gonna do that this weekend. And then I also got this tree collar thing. I really loved this scalloped detail, although this picture shows the scallops facing downwards. I was thinking of facing it upwards. I don't know. I'm gonna try it both ways and see which one I like better. And then got some cookies too. So those are all the things that I did not need, but bought it anyways. So there's the tree collar and Chandler. I closed the curtain in the back so you can see it better, but I did place it with the scallops facing downwards because the circumference of the top is smaller than the bottom, so if I faced it the other way with the scallops facing upwards, it was not covering the tree stand all the way. So yep, so there was a reason why the picture showed it that way. It's still cute. So I just ended up ordering my fabric online from Fabric Wholesale Direct, and it'll arrive in 7 to 10 business days. So while I wait for that fabric, I figured I would get started on making matching pajama sets for my family. For the past several years, I've just ordered matching pajamas online. And last year, I made just the bottoms for all of us, and it was really fun. So I wanted to do that this year as well, and I think I'm gonna make just the bottoms this time as well, just because it's easy and we don't tend to wear the button-down PJs that much, so it would just sit in our closets. So I think just the PJ bottoms will work just fine for us. And I've got the perfect fabric. This is a bed sheet that I thrifted a few months ago. It's such a cute print. Look at these penguins. They have ice skates on and they're, roasting marshmallows, and some of them are ice skating. It's just so cute. Look at that one. So it's a flannel bed sheet from Eddie Bauer, and this is I think it's a queen. Yeah, it's a queen set. So there's a flat sheet, a fitted sheet, and just one pillow cover. So I think I've got plenty of fabric to make bottoms for myself, my husband, my son, and I usually make like a bow or something for my dog as well. So I think this will be really cute. Hey guys, I'm just sitting here on my floor. There's Chandler cutting out the pattern for the dress, and I just noticed something wrong with it. So let me show you. Here's the pattern. That's the bodice. That one's the skirt, or you can cut a blouse. And then I was just about to cut the Chandler. I was just about to cut the sleeve ruffles. Chandler. Okay, he does not want to move. I've been trying for the last 5 minutes, but he just doesn't want to budge. So what I was saying is I was trying to put together the sleeve ruffle piece, and I noticed there is no pattern line for me to cut. So I went to the PDF, and I'm cutting this size extra small. So on the page there's all the sizes except for the extra small size. And so if I uncheck all of this, yeah, you see the extra small is on, but it's not there. But on all the other pages it's there, so right there. So what I'm gonna have to do is just print the small size, and it seems like each size is about 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more, but I just hope that it'll work, and I think it'll be okay. And the other typo that I noticed on this pattern is the page numbers. After C it goes to E. I was a little worried when I was printing the pattern first, but it's just a typo. You can see the correct page number on the top, but it's just incorrect in the bigger size. So I did print the size, this is small. I'm not sure what's going on with my printer. Every time I print something, the first page comes out like this, but it should be okay. So yeah, I've just printed the one with a small size on, and let's just hope for the best. open it together. It actually arrived last night and it was too cold to go outside and I was feeling very lazy, so it sat there overnight and part of today, so it feels really cold. It's a bit more shinier than I was expecting. I don't know how I feel about this. It's way too shiny than I was expecting. But it is pretty. And it is Christmas, so I don't know. What do we think? I think it's definitely a nighttime fabric, and I think the shininess just depends on how the light hits it. I think it'll work. It's Christmas after all, so we might be okay. Yeah. So while I have you here, I wanted to show you these matching pajamas that I made for everyone, for my husband, myself, and my son. Oh, and I also made this bandana for Chandler. I just used old pajamas that we already have to trace on the fabric itself, and that's how I made these. So we're all set for Christmas morning. Since it's getting pretty close to Christmas and this is a new pattern that I'm working with, I was kind of scared to cut directly into this fabric. I made a toile using a thrifted bed sheet. This is the toile that I quickly made last night, and it's actually looking pretty cute in this fabric. I might do it properly so I have this dress as well. I've already made some mistakes and learned a lot about this pattern by making this toile. First of all, I put this ruffle on backwards. So I'm glad to have made that mistake here rather than on this main fabric. Also, I now know that I need to cut 4 of the ruffle pieces instead of just 2, which is fine because it's just a toile. And this dress also turned out a lot shorter than I would like, and this isn't even hemmed yet, so it's sitting pretty short on me, so I wanted to hit just above my knee, so I'll probably add about 3 to 4 inches. And for this ruffle piece, I've just folded the same fabric. There is an option to use lace fabric as well, but since I don't have the lace and I am planning to use the same fabric for the ruffles for this one as well, so I've just folded the fabric. And I was thinking for this one I might interface the ruffles just to get that volume, but this fabric is pretty thin. It's a cotton fabric and it looks just fine without the interfacing, so I'm guessing I'm not gonna need to interface this one. I will try it once I cut the piece. I will try to just lay it on myself and see if it will have a little bit of that structure, because I don't want it to just be, floppy like that. And this fabric is a lot heavier than this one, so I might still need interfacing, but we'll get to that part once I cut the piece out. And the other thing is the pattern does have an option to put an elastic over here to kind of cinch it in the waist even more, but I don't feel the need to have it cinched. It's already so gathered and there isn't a whole lot of room, so I don't find it necessary for the elastic. I think it looks just fine this way, so I'm guessing I'm not going to be putting elastic on this one either. So at this point, oh, I did also get this satin ribbon from Amazon to put a bow right here. So yeah, that's for that. The only thing right now is I don't have matching thread. On the Fabric Wholesale Direct website where I got this fabric from, for every other fabric there was an option to get matching thread, but for some reason for this particular fabric they just had serger thread. They didn't have regular thread there. So now that I have the fabric, I can cut a little swatch and take it to Hobby Lobby. Hopefully they have something that matches. So I think today I'm just going to cut the pattern out, add 3 to 4 inches length on the skirt, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to make a trip down to Hobby Lobby, but hopefully soon. Luckily, this pattern is super easy. There is no zipper or anything involved. Honestly, last night when I was making this toile, most of my time was spent gathering. So lots of gathering detail here and the skirt here. Once I had that gathered, the sewing didn't take much at all. So I had this toile done in maybe an hour or so. So I think once I get the thread, it should not take me that long at all. I was feeling really good about how far I got last night. I realized that I did the gathering stitches on the hem of my skirt rather than at the waist. I don't even know how I did that. God, so annoying. But I did finish the sleeve ruffles. I mean, put the gathering stitches on the sleeve ruffles, and I also did the bodice piece. I was actually working on the arm side. It's bias bound, so that's taking a little bit longer, but I think if I don't make any more mistakes, I might be able to get this done by tomorrow. So I decided to shorten the length of this dress a little bit, but because the waist is kind of, I don't know what this is called. It's curved a little bit on both sides. It's curved a lot more in the front than it is in the back. So it's kind of hard to just cut the length off the bottom. So I put this dress on and tied a piece of elastic right under my bust and just pinned it up. And then I decided how long I want it to be, and that was like 20 inches. And I've just been measuring from this point down to 20 inches and putting a pin. Hopefully that'll work out. So yeah, you see how long it's looking. I know I said I wanted it right above my knee, but I think for this fabric it doesn't really work. It does need to be shorter, and the hem is a bit longer in the back because this waistline or this seam here is curved up in the front a lot more than it is in the back. And also because this fabric is kind of heavy, it's like pulling it down a lot more. So it's giving me that high-low kind of a hem, which I don't really like. So I just want to straighten that out a little bit as well. I am done. What do you think? I think it looks really cute, although it looks super shiny right now because I'm getting the direct light from the window, but it's not as shiny when the light is not hitting it, you know, just the right way. But I think it turned out really cute. As you can see, I made it a little bit shorter, and I think I like this length a lot more than how it was before, because before it was hitting me like right above my knee. So this is perfect. So the pattern itself was very beginner friendly. There is no like zipper or any kind of closure. It's just sort of like you throw it on kind of a dress. And yeah, even though I made a toile, I did have to go through some trial and error with this fabric to make this final version. So this toile that I made using a cotton fabric, which even though it's thinner than this fabric, it does have a bit of a structure to it, and I think that is needed for this pattern because this fabric is a stretchy velvet and it is quite heavy. So when I first made the dress, for the ruffle, since I don't have a lace fabric, I just used the same fabric and folded it in half and then attached it to the neckline. And initially when I did that, this fabric is already really thick. So when I attached a double layer to the neckline and then folded it over to top stitch, it created like this super thick edge here, and it was pulling on this bodice inside, so it was creating this really weird wavy edge. And when I put it on, it just looked super weird. And also this ruffle piece, based on the toile that I made, I thought I wouldn't need to interface this, but you know, it's just such a heavy fabric. It was just laying kind of like, it was just limp and not giving this dramatic effect. Luckily, I did have extra fabric, so I was able to cut more of the ruffle and the bodice pieces. So for the second one, I did interface this fabric, and I also added 1/2 inch on one edge so that when I attached it to the neckline, I would just be sewing one layer of fabric instead of, you know, the double layer. And then when you turn it over and top stitch at the edge here, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of fabric, which is why this over here turned out to be like a very thick cord. And then I added this satin bow. This took a little bit of trial and error as well. Initially, I made these loops a little bit longer, so it was just kind of like drooping and sticking out in a weird angle. So I shortened that a little bit, and I think now it's looking good. So yeah, I am excited to wear this on Christmas Eve. I don't know if I should layer it with a black like full sleeve t-shirt underneath, or I don't know. I do think that it needs tights because 1, it's cold, and 2, it's kind of short, and I will be running around after a 3-year-old toddler, and I don't need to be flashing anybody. Also, the other thing that I forgot was, because this fabric is kind of heavy, the toile had a little bit of a structure, so it didn't need an elastic here to kind of like cinch it in a little bit. But this one, I felt like it needed to be pulled in a little bit over here, so I did add elastic on the seam allowance here. So I am very happy to have this done before Christmas, and I don't know if I'll be able to put any of the videos of the Christmas Eve party on this channel, but if you follow me over on Instagram, I will definitely post some on my stories, so feel free to follow me along over there. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this dress come together, and it is a free pattern, so you know, feel free to take advantage of that, and it's such a pretty one too. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought about my Christmas Eve dress, and you know, if you liked this format of the video. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye.